Hey YouTube, I wanted to talk to you guys about Modern Horizons. Now, I've been playing Magic for a long time, since I was a kid, but I've taken lots of breaks. And my favorite thing about Magic is getting together with your friends and building decks and playing with them. A lot of my friends stopped playing, so I started to go to card shops to play. And I want you guys to let me know if this sounds familiar to any of you guys. So I'm going to card shops and I'm playing with these guys, and my decks are being annihilated. And a little bit of my competitive spirit kicks in, so I start buying cards from behind the glass. This is me being young, and before the internet was a bigger thing for card shops. And then, I started meeting other friends that played, and they showed me Card Kingdom, is where they bought these cards, and they had decks that were out of control. So, in order to keep playing this game I love, I started spending tons of money to build decks that were really good. And we actually had a great time playing our really high-powered decks. But then, I started meeting other people that played, and they were like me in the beginning, where they just, bought some cards with their friends, built decks, and their decks kind of sucked, but they were having fun. And I almost felt like I didn't want to play with them because my decks were just at a different caliber. I spent more money on them. It wasn't really about skill. It was just about I had much more high power cards. So one of the things I started to do is at the card shop, I'd see these people that would be buying packs and tearing through them and not even reading them and going straight to the rare. And I saw one kid pull it was a land. It was like one of those fetch lands. I came back in Cons of Cartier and I got a couple of those too. They're cool. I get it. And or something like this. He pulls in, he's freaking out. He didn't even read the cards he got in the pack. So I decided to buy one of these Modern Horizons booster boxes. And I'm happy I got some really cool cards that honestly I'm probably going to trade. But I just want people to have fun, One of the things I think is great about this set is their cards are really, really good. I went through the list, the spoilers, and saw what they had. And the cards were freaking awesome. Like the commons, the uncommons, they're going to be fun to play with. So I took a big break from Magic, and I decided to get back into it. And one of the things I did is I went to a card shop just out of town. I live pretty far from the city, and the city is Portland, and they have a card shop where they do draft. And I played draft and had a blast, and everybody there was having a blast. And I realized that everybody that was playing there was having more fun than most people have, and they were just playing with commons and uncommons mostly. So, me, my girlfriend, some of her brother, and some of my other friends, we've just been buying these boxes. And it's kind of a 2-for-1 or even a 3-for-1 of it being a good deal because you get cards that you can trade for cards for your deck. So I have a vampire deck, and I wouldn't mind trading my Run in 6 or my sword for, something cool like a Vampire Nocturnus and a couple other things I might want, But the real good part about this is you can make decks. We're like, hey, all right, look, let's all make some decks. We'll use these Modern Horizons packs, and I'll have my own separate box down here, and we'll put the Modern Horizons cards in them, and then we'll go through and make decks. And that way, it's not like a pay to win. It's all about skill. It's all about luck of the draw. It's all about deck building ability. It's not about, I spent $600 on this deck, and you only spent $30 on your deck. There's no way you're ever gonna win. So it just makes it, I think, how Magic was supposed to be. We're going to all have our Modern Horizons. We're going to make our decks and play. We're going to have a blast. At the end, we can stick our decks back into the box and then rebuild decks as we go. But here's the 2-for-1 or 3-for-1 I was saying, which is great. When I used to play, I was playing in Ravnica. I was playing in 7th edition. I was playing during all these great cards, and I sold my cards. But I had like one of every card because back when I used to play, I would buy at least 50 packs and search for those rares and try to build my decks and just see what's out. And every set I would basically do that. And I'd skip a couple sets. I was in Shards of Alara and Lorwyn and Zendikar and Worldwake and Rise of the Eldrazi. And back in the day, I was in 7th edition Ravnica. I was playing, a couple really cool ones. I remember Odyssey, buying a couple packs even at the card shop, but I was really young. And I had a ton of Odyssey cards because I was buying packs. The thing is, if you do this, if you buy, a box every once in a while, get a box of Modern Horizons. Maybe I'll wait a couple sets, buy another box. Wait a couple sets, buy another box. Eventually, you're starting to have like a big collection of cards. And then maybe you see some badass modern deck that's winning tournaments and you say, oh, shit, I have every single one of those cards. You don't need to go buy, I need to buy 4 Cryptic Commands for my deck. It's so expensive. I need 4 Run in 6s for my deck. I might buy another one of these here, maybe 3 or 4 months if I really like it. And I'll probably have 2 or 3 Run in 6s. And then, when it comes to being competitive at the card shop, some of my decks I just happened to have a couple Thoughtseizes because I was playing during the time they came out, and I opened a couple of them. So yeah, that's the 2-for-1 is you get to have all these cards at the ready that instead of being like, oh, it's going to be so expensive to build this deck, you can have tons of fun playing with the commons and uncommons and rares that you get from these. And you can have a tons of fun at the card shops because over the years go by and over the sets, see, World Wike and Zendikar was 10 years ago, and if you buy a box every year since then, you'd have basically every card you need to make any modern deck that you could think of. You're like, oh man, this one looks cool. Oh, this one looks cool. Oh, I like the Tron. Oh, that's awesome. I really like this one over here with the Run-In 6 in the the mana ramp, and I don't know. I'm not really into the modern. I play at home, but what I'm saying is that when you're in it, you generally have play sets of what you need, especially the uncommons and the cheaper rares that go up in price. And then as far as the mythics, it's harder to get a play set of those. But if you're trying to build a deck, when you go to the card shops, a lot of times people will trade you for them. I remember back in the day of Bitter Blossom, and my friend Jordan, he had a freaking fairy deck, which I hated because it was so annoying. But he had all the Bitter Blossoms, he had the Cryptic Commands, he had all the Vendilion Clicks and expensive cards that made it up, and he had the perfect deck for it. He had the standard deck that was like running tournaments because he was one of those guys I was telling you about that was trying to basically win, and we had expensive decks. I was playing Bant from Shards of Valara, so I had the Rafik of the Menes and the Stoic Angels and all the really, and my lands were so expensive to get all those, anyways. Besides that, we had the top of the line decks. In the end, his deck now is worth $1 billion jillion, and my deck is worth probably $150, around the same as when I bought it, and mostly because of the lands. But the thing is, he had a couple decks that were standard back then, and a lot of his cards are worth a lot right now. So, you just play as you go. I would highly recommend getting with some friends and buying a box and then saying, hey guys, do you want to do a draft at my house? We're going to grab 4 friends, grab 3 packs each. There you go. I'm really excited to see what I get in these packs. Like I said, I've opened about 7 packs, and I've gotten really lucky. Last pack I opened was this guy right here, and he looks fun. I really want to check out Commander and see how that goes, because maybe I can make a Commander deck with him. I've never played it before. I've always just played 60 card standard issue Magic. I can't say standard because that means new cards. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys for listening, and I'd like to hear what you guys think of Modern Horizons. And if you guys have a favorite card for Modern Horizons, let me know, because I'm just getting back into Magic over the last maybe 6 months, and the cards are so good. Like, I went to a couple drafts, and you got a common. It was for Throne of Eldraine, and it was a common that makes a food token that was green. And it was a 4/4 for 4 that gives you a food token, and I believe it does one other thing too that was a bonus. I'm like, okay, so you get all upsides. Oh, I think it was a trample. There was a 4/4 trample for 4 that gives you a food token, and there might have even been one other thing it did. And I'm telling you, this is a common. When I first started playing Magic the Gathering, a 2 to play 2/2 was like, that was good shit. If you can get a 3 to play 3/3, that's amazing. If it was a 3 to play 3/3 with an upside, that was probably either an uncommon or maybe even a rare. And it was often that rares didn't do anything. Like, there was also some rares that were like 5 to play 5/5s. That was it. No, nothing but a flavor text. So, anyways, these cards are ridiculous, you guys, and I'm really excited to see what I get. So, anyways, thank you for your time, and keep playing Magic.